Hi, I hope you're doing alright. Picture this if you will. You're an artist, and it doesn't matter what you do or who you share it to, you just create. You've created works that you are passionate about, regardless of how you feel about the quality. Your passion could be from motivation to do better. It could be from the cathartic release of stress that accumulated and crumbled with the actualization of your art. It could be from a proud and genuine sense of accomplishment, or it could be from the immense dislike from your work that you likely have. Nevertheless, your work has been made to some degree, and you have stuck with your art and continued to create. You have most likely ran into writer's block, and this can actually happen without you truly realizing it. So, writer's block is typically thought to be an invisible and impenetrable wall that separates you from your common sources of inspiration and discipline. Sometimes it comes quick, sometimes it comes slow. It makes no difference in the outcome. You are here and the blockade is there. Sometimes the struggle to push through the block reinforces it to a degree that can make it tower over you and encompass every degree of your life. The desire to get past it can become the writer's block. When your flaming desire is smothered by your struggles, it can cause you to go through some seriously messed up shit. The phrase imposter syndrome gets thrown around quite a lot, and imposter syndrome can show itself in varying degrees of self-doubt. Imposter syndrome can manifest in believing that you don't know the basics well enough to create, that you lack the skills and creativity, and that your art is really nothing special, that it is trivial and worthless in the sea of other works that are of colossal value when compared to your own. It's really not fun. And there are many helpful resources that attempt to help you overcome writer's block and imposter syndrome. And while they help a lot, what many of these lack is the acceptance that no matter how many times you struggle through your conflict, it will always come back. The first time you get through writer's block, it can make you feel more powerful than ever. So can the second time, or the fifth, or the 10th. Yet it is rare that the realization that you have a block is met with the same nonchalant or prideful sense of power that you gained when beating it in the first place. Blockades are different, and they wear many faces that can look like shame, guilt, regret, or even clarity, calm, and humor. No matter the circumstances, it always goes away, and it always comes back. You can easily fall victim to believing in yourself too much when you get past writer's block, and this only makes it more dangerous the next time that you encounter it, as it not only has the same impact on your creative output, but it also attacks your ego that you gained from feeling pride for overcoming it previously. What I have found to work best in my work is to recognize it not as an enemy, but as a naturally occurring phenomenon. When passing it, recognize that you have passed it, and then let it go. There are a couple of mistakes that we can easily find ourselves making here. The first one is to hold on to your past struggles. You can easily hold these creative successes close to your artistic drive, so much so that they become a part of your identity as a creator. When this happens, you may find yourself pushing harder and harder to get through a writer's block that you shouldn't get through yet. And by holding on to the pain and battles that have previously happened, you can find yourself dragging relics of your past self into the future with you. When you reach a blockade, it can weigh you down under the things that you have not yet let go. Instead of focusing on your successes, accept them, remember them, and try to move on. The next mistake, which I would say is easier to make than the first one, is trying to fight it. Bullying yourself for being creatively tired is a very harmful thing that can damage your output as well as your chosen tools for creating. Do not let your struggles give you bad feelings towards your instruments, your pencils, your keyboards, or any other tools that you may use to create your art. You also run the risk of making subpar art while trying to create during a bout of writer's block. When I get writer's block, which can happen once a week sometimes, I find it hard to remember not to fight it. Sometimes I like to go around it. If I am musically exhausted, and I have nothing to say or play, I will then work on videos or podcasts. If I'm exhausted in those ways, I go outside or I play a game. And if I'm exhausted in all ways, I usually just go to bed. So feel free to peel yourself away from any artistic vehicle that you think you've got to block in and just do something else for a bit. And usually, by taking an influence from anything else, you can find yourself coming back to your art with a fresh new set of ideas, and all of a sudden, the block has disappeared. So you can call it what you want, and I'm not going to try and pretend to know exactly what the blockade is. Maybe it's your own brain telling yourself, okay, let's do something else for a bit. Or maybe your pools of inspiration have been drained to the point to where there's nothing left to scoop out. It could be many things, and I think trying to give it one title and trying to give it one source weakens the power of the tools that you can use to fight it. Because if it's not coming from your pools of inspiration, then where's it coming from? So I usually try and accept that I don't know where the hell it comes from, and I don't know where the hell it goes, but I know it happens. And I know it's usually not fun when it happens, although sometimes it'll happen and you'll, I guess I'll pull myself away from my computer or my guitar or my bongos, if you're a bongo person. I've never really met a bongo person. I'm sure they're really cool though. I've hung out with people that have played bongos at drum circles. I don't know if that's a thing where people just play bongos and that's their thing, which if it is, more power to you, because bongos are pretty fucking cool. They make really cool sounds. And as far as percussion goes, they're solid. What the hell is I talking about? Okay, so sometimes you can pull yourself away from your medium and really don't want to. And then you go do something else. Do whatever the hell, and then it takes away any stress that just came out of your current writer's block, and it puts it into a nice little package and does something with it, because it goes somewhere. Because sometimes by the time I come back, I'm like, all right, fuck yeah, it's time to lay down some killer riffs or something. Another thing I like to do when I get writer's block is just practice. And it can be the most basic practice that you can possibly think of. If you just want to watch TV and just be piddling around on your guitar, or just drawing shapes, or writing. I don't really know a lot of practice creative writing things. I do some creative writing, but I'm in no shape or form a writer. You can do that while watching TV. You can do it while listening to music. You can't really write music while listening to music, I've found, especially not if you're trying to record it. You can practice music when you listen to it, and that's pretty fun. You can just practice in the weirdest ways you can possibly think of, and you're still doing it. But if you don't want to practice, then that's also totally cool, because the fact of the matter is, you've still got the writer's block, and until it goes somewhere, you're gonna have it. Pushing yourself to get through it can be extremely dangerous, and it can really hurt sometimes. It can hurt you, it can hurt those around you, because you might lash out in weird ways, or you might be cold and distant, or you might be moping and, just got nothing left to live for. I think we've all been there. I think anybody that's kept at it for any amount of time has gone to very dark places because of writer's block. Don't be afraid of it. It's gonna happen. So don't stress yourself out about it, because it's gonna come and it's gonna go. It might not seem like it's gonna go, and it might not seem like it's gonna come back, but from my experience and from the experience of many other fellow human beings, it comes back, and it sucks the same amount, and then it goes away, and oftentimes you don't notice it going away. It just disappears. It doesn't necessarily get smaller, it doesn't necessarily fade out, you don't become more powerful. And as I stated, it's very dangerous to think of yourself as getting more powerful through it, because then the next time that you meet something, it seems like an even bigger foe, and it seems like, I wasn't powerful. Now what am I gonna do? And that sucks. So feel free to do whatever you want to get away from writer's block. Things that you don't want to do, be forceful with yourself. Discipline does not mean force, and discipline should not mean pain. Discipline may mean annoyance. Discipline may mean frustration. But pain, no. That's a very dangerous thing that you might think, because we've all seen movies where the protagonist loses the first climax and they go downhill through sheer pain and force of will. They beat the shit out of whatever that conflict is. And at the end, they're super happy. From my experience, that's usually not how it goes. If you do that and you get through it, you'll eventually end up thinking, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't have put myself through so much pain. Maybe I shouldn't have burnt myself out so much trying to get through this thing. It's the same as going on a walk, tripping over a root because you're not watching your feet. Are you gonna keep walking over that root to maximize your angle and maximize whatever torque you might put on it as soon as you step, to where your heel just kind of slides right off? No, that's weird. I don't even know why you'd use torque. See, I was just kind of spitballing there. And you're definitely not gonna watch your feet for the rest of your walk. Now you can, and you might watch your feet for a little bit, but the fear of running into another predicament down the road just brings it from down the road to where you are now. And there may not be another route. And instead of your struggle being in tripping over that route, it may be going through a little stream and getting your feet wet, or sliding in some mud, or stubbing your toe on something, which comes a lot if you wear sandals while hiking, which is a very fun thing to do, especially if you are going through water, because you don't want to go through water with socks on. I digress completely. That's completely off the topic. You can easily get anxiety about your writer's block and your struggles with creativity. Like with the root, it's the same as thinking forward and pulling whatever stress back to you. And as much as it may feel good to prepare for it and to have your knives out and watch for it and wait for it, it's only bringing the inevitable closer. And that's never fun. And if you've ever been through something that was traumatic to you and maybe gives you a lot of anxiety now, you can really hurt yourself and your experience in life by constantly watching out for whatever it was that hurt you. The dangerous thing with writer's block is you may want to use that same tactic, which is already not a fun thing to do, but you can't watch out for something that you can't see. You'll never notice it when it's coming. You'll just notice it when it's there. As long as you don't let it stop you, you'll notice it when it's gone. And it does get easier. All this sounds like I'm trying to say that it sucks and it will always suck and it'll always bum you out and destroy whatever you're trying to work on. No, it's just when you lack the resources to deal with it, you can exert a lot more energy trying to defeat it than you would if you had known. Don't defeat it. Just wait it out. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say at the moment on the topic. I might have more in the near future, but I've just been thinking about this quite a bit. I don't think I'm going through writer's block right now, although I might be, and this might be a way that my subconscious mind is telling my conscious mind, hey, you're going through writer's block, and that's why I'm thinking about it so much. It doesn't really matter. If I'm going through it, I might have already passed it because I didn't fucking notice it. So there I go. Thanks for listening. It means a lot. I don't really know how you found this, but good job. And if you liked the video, then feel free to, if you liked it, then feel free to like the video itself, or feel free to subscribe, and at the very least, leave a comment. Say, hey, what's up, dude? And I'll probably end up responding at some point. I don't really check my YouTube channel that much because at the moment I have absolutely no reason to. But I hope that this is helpful to somebody. And if you didn't like the video, then please record a better one. And that's not me trying to be like, well, if you didn't like it, and if you think you could do better, then try it. No, if you think you could do better, fucking do it, man. Go for it. Good job. Drive safe out there. Sleep well. Have fun at work. Have fun at school. Stay tuned until next time, and we'll see what's what.